What is Adventure Carts? Adventure Carts is a wonderful place out here in Whipple Creek where we are getting all of our tourists off of cruise ships, even locals, out here on previous logging roads that we've now cleared out and turned into a wonderful trail that we can take our new Polaris RZRs out and kind of just show people what they can handle. We were running vehicles known as Tom Cars in the past, and we ran the Tom Cars pretty much since the inception of Adventure Carts here on the island. And I want to say it was about 12 years that they used them, and they started kind of, you know, feeling the abuse after a while, and it was time to get a new fleet. Brian Carsons is the manager out here at Adventure Carts, and he helped facilitate the bringing of all the Polarises out here. And he actually was out in Sedona, Arizona before he was recruited at the leading tourist spot for Polarises in the country. So he comes from a very well-seasoned background of how things should operate out here. The benefit of the RZRs is a top-notch brand new vehicle that has 4x4 capabilities, wonderful CV transmissions in there, so that way they can pretty much do everything at the press of a pedal. So they're outfitted with ride command in there, so it's got full GPS navigation features. They're even set up with an amazing Rockford Fosgate audio system in there. The way I heard about Ketchikan was 2 years ago. My partner came out here on a cruise with a friend and ended up on a guided trip through the zip line out at Heron Cove, and they were just like, if you want to work out here, apply. So I decided to come out here as well and worked out there for a year. It was one of their best lead zipline guides that they had, and having came out here during that experience, seeing how everything was running, I was like, I think I can help out in this branch of the company. So with my mechanical background and having been in the power sports industry for about 14 years of my life, I decided, you know what, Adventure Carts is the section I need to be at this year. So my role in Adventure Carts here is essentially I'm going to be overlooking expeditions leaving here at home base, and making sure everything kind of operates smoothly, making sure guides are talking about proper facts, making sure we get as accurate of information as possible, making sure tours are leaving on time, making sure if anything breaks down, I can get out there quickly, replace tires if need be. Now, that actually just happened on our last tour, so that was pretty fun. That was exhilarating. It was a nice little NASCAR pit crew. What Ketchikan means to me is a place for outdoor adventure. Hands down. Anything you want to do outdoors, you can do here, from hiking, fishing, hunting, off-roading, obviously. It gives you an ability to be outside in some of the purest air in the world. You're not going to find anywhere that is quite like this place. Right outside my bunks, I can see whales, I can see orcas. There's a salmon run that happens right outside my doorstep that I plan on fishing through. I can't elaborate on ripping through the logging road since we are governed on these vehicles. They can easily hit 80 miles an hour without the governor, and that's a little extreme for a lot of the normal people. So we do have them governed down to 30, and we generally cruise about 20 miles an hour. So coming through here, it's pretty calm, but you get to feel all the different bumps, you get to hit all the puddles, of course, and with how often it rains out here, you can feel how the tires kind of slip out a little bit, but once that four-wheel drive engages, you feel all of that grip come right back in and zero worries about losing any control. They're solid machines coming through here. But these logging roads are very difficult to maintain, as anybody from Ketchikan, Alaska can attest. Potholes will emerge overnight and just change the terrain on you. And sometimes you got to go out there and do some trail maintenance. But for the most part, we kind of let it be a little wild, so that way you can feel the suspension really doing their jobs. The Kawanti community is, in the beginning of the season, so it's a little loose-knit since all our seasonals are still coming in, but once they come in, boy does it turn into a family. You are a family of fun and just excitement at all times, because at any point in time, somebody can either be going on a hike, going into town, just wanting to go to some of the museums, or just generally just hanging out and having a good time. It's a wonderful place. So living in the bunks with a number of different people, you are hanging out with your roommates essentially every day, because you are living 3 to a bunk, and you have a shared communal kitchen downstairs. Everybody is upstairs, And when you go to eat, it tends to be your roommates that you're going to be eating with, because you are sharing a fridge, so everybody's kind of groceries get mixed in, and you can have people that are going to cook one day and the other people are getting the groceries these days, and then some people will cook on a different day, and you're just sharing a lot of food. And sometimes some meals you have to cook for a large group, so you have to plan on feeding 8 people. Everybody will throw in on groceries for that, and you're just always hanging out with someone. There's not a lot of privacy, but it is a good time. What happens when we're not giving tours? We're generally just kind of hanging out at the bunks, just trying to devise our next group outing, whether it's going out to Coast Guard Beach or going to our wonderful little hidden beach known as Sweat Lodge, or even just going to the local watering hole to wet your whistle, you know? There's so many things that we do that it's hard to keep up with from a day-to-day basis. My favorite part about living this kind of lifestyle out here is getting to meet so many different people from a number of backgrounds. There could be things I've learned from a random person that decided to come out here from Montana. Like, this is how you cut down this kind of tree if you want it to fall this way. I've learned how to make some of the best queso of my life from somebody from Ohio. And I didn't think I'd be able to say that as a Texan, but here we are.
I found out about Kawanti Adventures on Coolworks a couple years ago, and I was looking for a place to go over the summer for something new, something a little bit crazy and out of my comfort zone. And this was the place I ended up picking from like the 5 Google pictures of Ketchikan. And I said, wow, houses on stilts? That looks cool. And I fell in love with it, and I'm back for my 2nd year.
I found out about Kawanti also on the website called Coolworks. I just got married in February, and me and my husband are like, oh, we want to work in Alaska. We want to do something fun for the summer. And so we just looked up some cool Alaskan jobs, and I said, oh, ziplining? Sounds so fun. I've been ziplining once in my life, and it was amazing, and so I thought I'd do it for the rest of the summer. Yeah. I was working as a religious teacher, like a substitute religious teacher, back home in Utah. And I love teaching, I love people. I was also going to school, and I love school, so still trying to figure out what I want to do. Yeah.
Before I got here, I've been going to the University of Georgia, attending school there, so I have 1 more year left when I go back in August.
Okay, what does a zipline guide do? We do a lot, actually. We start with 2 weeks of training, and it's all for people's safety. Our job when we get on the course is to make sure that everyone that is up there makes it down safely and has a blast. A lot of the time though, we're working as fast and as hard as we can, and we also have to be interacting, keeping the guests excited, keeping them happy that they're there, even if it's raining or windy or whatever the conditions may be. And so it's kind of a juggle between keeping people safe and also making sure they have a good time. There's a lot going on in my head, at least, every day. It makes the day, you know, when we can make a kid laugh or have somebody come up there that says, wow, this has been my dream to come on a zip line, you know, and here I am in Alaska and I'm doing the zip line, and, you know, they have a blast the whole time. Or my favorite part is getting somebody like who's really terrified of heights. And they get up there and we get them to the first couple platforms, and they're kind of getting used to it, and we get them down and they're just like, wow, that was the best experience I've ever had. You know, so it just kind of, it brings a smile to your face after a tour, especially after a hard tour, to hear that your guest had a great time up there, you know, because of everything you were doing to make it that way for them. In other jobs, I may put on this persona of like a front desk agent, which I've done before with other resort companies. Whereas here it's kind of like, well, I can be joking, I can be funny, I can just say random stuff and the guests will laugh at it, you know, and as long as I'm myself, they actually have a better time than when I'm just full, you know, robot tour guide mode. And that's what we try to avoid here a lot. It's what the management also tries to avoid for us by setting up, you know, bunkhouse parties. Like next week we have a barbecue. Yeah, we have a barbecue set up by management to kind of like get us out of our comfort zones, let us have fun, you know, because they know that it's a lot to be going out there with different guides and different guests every single day, and it might be back to back. Some of the things that I like to do when I'm not working, I'm a big crafter. I love to paint, I love to draw, I love to crochet. Also, I am huge into just relaxing, especially after a long day at work. Talking with people, I need time to decompress, so I have some favorite TV shows. And then hanging out with people like coworkers and stuff that are around the island is hugely rewarding. We all have similar interests, like in finding out. We all like to be outside, we all love the bears, and so it's good to talk to people and to kind of hang out in those atmospheres, because that's what being in Alaska is all about, is kind of becoming yourself, and everyone's celebrated for their individuality, I guess.
It's rare to find so many nature enthusiasts in one place. And so, you know, if we hear a whale or a pod of whales is coming, everybody runs out with the binoculars. Everybody's super into crafting with a lot of the resources around here. We paint rocks and exchange them, and people love going for walks after work. Even though they're tired, they're like, well, this is how I'm gonna refresh and decompress and rejuvenate myself. I'm gonna go on a walk with this person. And we walk for 3 or 4 miles and just enjoy, you know, the coast along the road. So this is our living space. We have a bunk bed. Each room has a bunk bed and one single bed. We have sets of drawers to share in a bathroom that we can share. And like we sleep with the windows open all the time, you know, because you can hear everything out there and the breeze comes through, so it feels nice at night. This is where most people usually eat, at these tables, and then we have a projector and a TV and books that are for common use. Every single day feels like 2 days here, and it's a fun thing because, you know, I get off of work and it'll be like 3 o'clock, but it's like we have 7 more hours of sunlight. Well, what am I gonna do with the rest of my day? On rainy days, I like to stay inside and I'll work on art and making jewelry. I'm trying to hopefully sell some stuff at the Blueberry Arts Festival this year. I attended it for the first time last year and it was awesome seeing all the local art there. And I want to join in this year. And on sunny days, like, I love going out and being on the water, kayaking. There's a ton of islands that we can get to, especially through other companies that allow the guides from here to borrow some of their equipment, you know, for like a smaller comped fee. And we'll go out to like Clover Island or out to Gravina over here. Doing hikes is so fun because we can get a group of people who just got off work and we're all carpool to the same place, go up a mountain, see the sunset, you know, come back down and get a good night's sleep and do it all over again the next day.
So I live over, we call it Seaside Cottage. It's just like a little house. There's 5 of us there, and the culture is awesome, honestly. We all kind of cook together, we like to play games together. And a lot of times it is kind of quiet because after we get home from work, we do need some time to ourselves. But as soon as someone out is cooking and talking, then we all kind of creep out of our rooms and it's like, okay, let's pretend we're a family now, because that is basically the only family that we have out here is each other.
There's always somebody that, you know, will want to cook with you or share food with you. A lot of people go foraging together and they come back and they make things together. People bake for other people in the bunks and say, hey, this is free bunkhouse food, you know, everybody enjoy. Yeah, a lot of guides, we get off of work and it's, you know, 6 or 7 o'clock and somebody will say in the group message, hey, anybody want to walk to Hole in the Wall? Like 10 minutes, and you get like 5 people suddenly walking down to the hole in the wall and they all come in at once and everybody knows it's the Kawanti kids coming. We just flow in through the night. And then if you're looking for something to do, I mean, you have 60 people to choose from, you know? People who might want to go out to the beach or go biking or go for a walk. So it's really easy to find friends here and find friendship and kinship.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Alaska Rainforest Sanctuary. We're very excited that you're gonna join us along this nature walk today. We're gonna enter into the Tongass National Rainforest. The Tongass National Rainforest is the largest temperate rainforest in the entire world. It spans almost 17 million acres. So along our walk today, we'll see a lot of different varieties of plants that I can tell you a little bit about so that we can learn about this beautiful forest you see behind me. So as we get to the top of this hill, as we enter into this rainforest, something that stands out to a lot of people right off the bat is the moss that we have hanging in the trees. This moss is actually a friend to the trees. The trees and the moss have something called a symbiotic relationship. You might remember from an old science class of yours that a symbiotic relationship is two organisms that are helping each other out, helping each other thrive. So these trees are trying to grow up really tall and strong towards the sunlight. And when they're growing so tall, they don't necessarily need those lower branches. So they'll go ahead and shed their lower branches. And as they've already decided that those lower branches are going to die, the moss will settle on these branches and start to naturally prune the branches. So just like you might prune a plant in your garden, the moss will naturally prune the trees and help them grow tall and strong. A huge part of my job is to interpret this wildlife around us and to learn a lot about it so that I can answer questions when guests want to know about the forest that they're seeing around them. I can tell them how everything's connected and how the entire ecosystem of the forest works together. One of the reasons that we're able to do so much research about this forest is because we do get some on-the-clock research time, and we're able to learn more about this forest to improve our tours and answer more questions when our guests ask. There they go. So this right here is a unique species of slug to this area. They also are found in California. But when you see them in California, they're probably going to be a lot brighter yellow with some black spots. That's because it's very sunny in California and not very sunny in Alaska. This right here is our banana slug. Banana slugs have this unique enzyme in their slime that actually causes animals to salivate profusely when they eat them. So if a bear were to eat a banana slug, it would find its mouth full of saliva. Also, the banana slug's slime is a numbing agent. So if you were to eat a banana slug, your whole mouth would go so numb that it would be really uncomfortable, and you'd probably just want to spit it right out. And actually, this numbing agent works on humans as well. So something that we do for fun here in Alaska is we like to give them a little lick, just like this. And it will make the end of my tongue go really numb in just a few minutes. Very cool way to see for yourself what nature can do. It is an extremely unique opportunity to live in this forest and also work in this forest and be surrounded by people who are equally as passionate and as hungry for knowledge as I am. And so every day that I'm at work, I have guests asking me questions about things I may have never thought of myself, and I get to research those topics and find out more about this place around me. I'm originally from California, right outside of San Francisco, and then I've been in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for about 4 years up north, just south of Canada. I was looking for seasonal work online, and I was really drawn to Alaska because of all of the outdoor opportunities that are up here. And I thought that it would be a wonderful opportunity to experience a climate I've never been in before, this rainforest, and to be able to learn about the rainforest and then also teach other people was very appealing to me. On this nursery stump, there's a little baby western hemlock growing. These western hemlocks make up about 70% of the entire forest. And although this one might look like it's only 6 months to a year old, this baby western hemlock is actually about 7 years old. So right here we have our teenage western hemlock. It is about 65 to 70 years old, and yes, it is still a teenager. And this western hemlock's got a lot of life left in front of it. Just like our baby western hemlock, it started growing out of a nursery stump. But as you can see, the roots of this western hemlock are stuck in the ground. It's got a good foundation for itself. Now, of course, 600 years is just an educated guess as to how old this tree is because we don't drill into any of our trees to find out the exact age. But this tree, just like our other two western hemlocks, did start growing out of a nursery stump, and you can tell because of that red cedar bark inside of the tree that highlights the nursery stump that it once grew out of. Now, a fun fact about these nursery stumps is that you can always tell where they began because of how high the roots are on the tree. So up above my head, you'll see where those roots start to come down off of the tree. Well, they didn't just start growing out of thin air. At one point in time, there was a nursery stump all the way up above my head, and those roots began to grow down off of the nursery stump. And then over time, that stump decayed inside the tree, leaving us with this hollow opening that you see behind me. It's definitely very exciting to be in a living situation where I'm surrounded by people from all over the country. We have some people that come to our bunkhouse from a different seasonal job that they've just finished, and some people, it's their first time ever working in the seasonal industry. I spend the winters ski instructing in Idaho, but I've never moved away for a seasonal job, so I'm able to just do that out of my parents' house. And so moving here to Alaska has been my first experience living in a community housing situation and also working where I live. Everybody from all over the country has come to this one place due to a common interest that we have in being outdoors and being in the forest and learning about this place in Alaska. So right behind us is a creek that we have on our property. It's called Eagle Creek. And this creek is very important to us here at Kawanti, and it's also a really important place for our wild salmon because it's one of their spawning grounds. And when they're coming back up the stream, it becomes a bit of a grab-and-go fast food restaurant for our black bears. So black bears will pluck the salmon out of the water and eat them, and black bears are quite messy eaters. So they will leave salmon carcasses all over the forest floor. And although it is a bit of an unpleasant smell, we love that smell because the salmon are packed full of nitrogen and other nutrients. And so as they decompose, they leach the nutrients back into the soil, and they help everything in this forest grow. And everything in this forest has been used for thousands of years by people that have inhabited this area. So we have 3 native tribes that have inhabited this area, some for over 10,000 years, the Tlingit, the Haida, and the Tsimshian. And they've all learned how to live off of this land and use all of these resources to fuel their life and help their communities. I absolutely love the type of lifestyle that we have here. I'm somebody who just likes to throw themselves into whatever I'm doing, so it makes a lot more sense for me to be living where I work and kind of have those lines blurred a little bit because I feel like I can become more invested in my work and also form closer relationships with the people that I'm working with, since those two aspects of my life are so close now. It's definitely something that I plan on taking advantage of for the next couple years of my life. I love to travel, and many of the people here love to travel as well, so it's a wonderful way to be able to do that, travel and work, and get paid to live in very cool places, just like this.